Archie Miller had an interesting tenure at Indiana University. We asked several IU fans how they felt when Archie was first hired.
Okay, so I thought it could work, but I wasn't super confident in it. It wasn't like Mike Woodson was. It wasn't like that.
Honestly, I remember when I first heard, I was actually working out over in the fitness room over in the North Building. And I was slightly disappointed when I first heard that he was being hired, mostly just because I didn't know too much about him. I knew that he had coached at Dayton and he had taken to the NCAA tournament quite a few times, and they'd had some success there. But I'm kind of one of those people who probably am stuck in the past a little too much with IU, and I was hoping we would get a bigger name than what we did. After talking to a few people, though, about the hire, they seemed to be pretty excited about him, so they changed my mind slightly. But again, at first, I wasn't super excited about the hire.
Archie struggled to keep players at Indiana University. We were wondering why this was, so we asked Dominic and Mrs. Lewis why this could be.
Because he sucks. He just sucks at his job. And he got the high recruits, but he couldn't keep them. So they didn't have time to develop, first of all. And then he just wasn't good enough to develop the lower end players.
Well, one is that in this day and age of college basketball, it's a lot easier to transfer because there aren't as many rules in place about having to set out a year. And with the idea that a lot of guys come in thinking they're going to get playing time right away, when you recruit the higher level athletes, the bigger star, 5-star, 4-star players, they think that they're going to make an immediate impact on the team, and sometimes that just doesn't work out. And so sometimes it's just a better fit for players to go other places. But I think in large part it's due to the fact that they just weren't enjoying basketball anymore. And basketball is a long season. And it's a long off season because basketball is the type of sport where you have to practice it all the time in order to be able to keep your skill up. And so if you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying it, then you got to go find someplace else to go or someplace else to play because otherwise it's miserable.
Archie's time in IU wasn't successful. We wanted some insight on why this was, so our interviewees enlightened us on why.
No.
Why not?
Come on. Come on. Let's be real.
No, and part of the reason why, to me, that's such an easy answer is, well, one, he never made the NCAA tournament, even though in 2020 we were going to make it, but then they canceled it because of COVID. We were going to make it then. But you could just tell in his last year at IU that he had really just kind of sucked all the joy out of playing from the players. You could tell that they weren't having fun. You could tell that the offense was very regimented and they didn't really know how to run the offense. There wasn't a flow to it. Our shooting was atrocious during Archie Miller's tenure. So, again, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but he had, 4 years at IU, and we got worse, in my opinion. Now, again, one of the things that really sold people on Archie was his defense and his defensive philosophy and how it was supposed to be a shutdown, lockdown defense. And we weren't doing that well anymore in his last season. So, again, I think Archie's probably a really good guy and a really good person, but he just was not the right fit for IU for whatever reason.
Archie Miller is widely not liked by IU fans. He never made a March Madness tournament and was usually a first-round exit in the Big Ten tournament. In the eyes of some, he tarnished the great brand of Indiana basketball, but really he was never an IU kind of coach. He is meant to coach small schools to big moments and have a team filled with hard-nosed, scrappy, unknown prospects. He was never meant to coach at a big school with high expectations and big-name prospects. Archie was a failure, but so was everything around him.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.